Okay.
Now you die.
Before we dive in within how I feel about this latest Nintendo film, I should mention that I am a huge Super Mario Bros. Fan. I've experienced and enjoyed a huge library of video games in general, and still to this day, one of my favorite games of all time is Super Mario 64. So I'll confess when I say that I was genuinely worried on how the film would turn out, especially when I saw the reviews that critics were giving out left and right. But after watching the film, I gotta say, it was pretty dang good. As always, if you haven't seen this film, I recommend you do so since there will be spoilers in the video. Without further ado, here we go. Just like everyone else on the internet, I expected this film to be bad just by hearing about the voice cast alone. I mean, come on, can you blame me?
What the f***?
Will be played by the one and only Jack Black. Even though this is a Mario movie, Donkey Kong will also be making an appearance.
One of the things that the entertainment industry loves doing is having certain actors be in just about everything, such as The Rock, Kevin Hart, Seth Rogen, and now Chris Pratt. Chris is also going to be voicing Garfield in an upcoming animated movie, so get ready for that. But as for the plot, the story is about Mario and Luigi starting their own plumbing service and unfortunately failing their first job. After feeling belittled by his former boss Spike, his own family, and his failure, Mario is determined to go to the sewers to solve a major plumbing issue to save Brooklyn. During that time, Luigi gets sucked into a forgotten warp pipe with Mario following him and eventually being separated, with Luigi being held hostage by Bowser. So now it's up to Mario to team up with Toad and Peach to form an alliance with the Kongs to stop Bowser once and for all. As most people stated, the plot itself is pretty bare bones, but it's not bad by all means. After all, it's pretty difficult to make an articulate story with a game like Super Mario, right? Right? Well, we're gonna go back to that in a bit. But let's go back to our main voice acting cast. Chris Pratt's performance as Mario was okay. It was just okay. Same goes for our other main character, Peach, who was voiced by Anya Taylor-Joy, who was an incredibly talented actress, don't get me wrong. And for Charlie Day, he didn't really have much room to fail since Luigi was barely in the film and was mainly used as a crucial plot point for the beginning, but he was okay too. I think this because there are 3 other actors who completely dominated their roles and made the film so much more memorable and stand out. But before we get to that, we should talk about what caught everyone's attention, shall we? You can talk all you want about not liking any of Illumination's films, but there's no way you can deny the fact that when it comes to colors, character design, and even just animation alone, that Illumination brings out the best in those categories for every film they've released. Shigeru Miyamoto himself stated that Nintendo's focus was to make sure that every moment, every action, and animation felt right to the smallest detail. Each sequence of events needs to be perfect and complete, and Chris's team was very good at finding the right balance within action and story. Honestly, Miyamoto has it right to the T on what Illumination succeeds in doing. And to work with a franchise like the Mario Brothers, Nintendo and Illumination make the perfect duo. Illumination Studios specializes in always having something happening in the background, and it's done so beautifully. For a world that has so many different characters, locations, and settings, there are so many hidden details, Easter eggs, and references that really give all the fan service for any Mario fan, while also making the film rewatchable. One of my favorite things in the film is Charles Martinet's cameo, where he voices a character who looks similar to Mario's original design, Jumpman from the first Donkey Kong game, while also playing Donkey Kong. The film is full of amazing details like that, and I could go all day with them, but there's one reference in particular that genuinely had me in shock. The Super Mario Bros. Film has an amazing soundtrack that is heavily inspired by a lot of the original music from the games, but Illumination included one particular song that created my favorite scene in the entire film. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the song was this nostalgic Banana Jamma. My jaw dropped the moment I heard the DK rap from Donkey Kong 64. I'm not just saying this as a fan, but the overall importance of having the DK rap play when Donkey Kong is introduced is an important one since it oozes with his movie personality that fits extremely well with his cocky and macho man attitude. Honestly, this film did everything right with DK, especially with having him serve as a rival and giving Mario a hard time throughout almost the entirety of the film, but also helping Mario whenever necessary. A major detail that the Mario franchise has established for years. I'll be honest, I've mocked the idea of Seth Rogen voicing DK since I figured he wasn't really going to try, since just about all of his other animated roles aren't anything special, but Seth owned his role as Donkey Kong. Anytime DK is on screen, it's just amazing or hilarious and has a lot to do with the comedic timing and performance by Seth Rogen. And even though Mario as a character is kind of boring in the film itself, he has the most chemistry whenever he's with Donkey Kong on screen. I don't know for sure, but I think Seth was really driven to perform his best since he himself is also a big Mario fan. There's one actor in particular that is pretty new to the Mario extended universe, but clearly showed enthusiasm in his performance and was the main highlight of the whole film. Please make way for Miyamoto. Expected a monster performance from Jack Black, and oh man, did Jack deliver. Jack Black as Bowser was genius, and I love that Illumination took advantage of Jack's musical flair with the Peaches song. Bowser in the film has a very delicate mix of both funny and intimidating, and I honestly don't think anyone could have pulled it off other than Jack. It's just amazing. And thanks to the performances of Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, whenever both him and Bowser were together, they were able to create terrifying feats of mayhem, like in the beginning of the film, and create comedic situations with Bowser exposing his insecurities about Mario to Kamek. Jack Black as Bowser is done so well, since a good majority of his delivery with his lines and just the way it's performed emphasizes this delicate balance of comedy relief and a powerful threat. I'm just glad that a good majority of the film's screen time has Bowser and his army as the main focus for the film, and creates a very good reason for why Bowser hates Mario in a fun and interesting way. It was a little weird at first to hear that Jack would voice Bowser, but he has proven himself more than worthy to be king of the Koopas. The film's main target demographic seems to be for kids, but honestly, it's enjoyable to just about anyone who even has a basic idea of what the Mario games are about. As a movie by itself, I give it an 8 out of 10. A fun movie that is truly rated E for everyone. It's obvious that with not just the end credit scene, but Universal in general plans on creating more Mario Brothers films with their expanding partnership with Universal Studios. Jack Black is open to a movie with Bowser as the main character, which is a great idea, and I'm definitely hoping that there will be a Luigi's Mansion film in the foreseeable future. Hopefully these future films will have a higher focus on character development and have a much more complex story. Because from the way I see it, this film is a stepping stone that merely scratches the surface on what the Mario universe has to offer. And I think Illumination is fully aware of that, which makes sense as to why they've been so careful with this film. From what I see, it seems that the future films will have a focus on different galaxies, especially with Illuma being present in the movie. So maybe Rosalina will be introduced next, who knows? Honestly, it's just bizarre to me that a lot of people think that conveying a story in the world of Super Mario based on the games is a ridiculous idea. I think if you just dive a little deeper in this world, you just might change your mind. If you stuck around for this long, thanks for listening, and I hope you stick around because we have a lot more things to discuss.